All right, all right, all right. Shalom. Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. That's ancient Paleo-Hebrew for peace, love, and blessings. Facing the east, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach. I want to give double honor to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years over at GMS. Without them, we would only be halfway there. And today, last week I was telling you, I showed you, according to scripture, the word Gentile means Helene. So when you go back into the original text, the word Gentile isn't actually there. That's an updated word. That's a transliteration. It was Helene, which means Hellenized. Who was Hellenized? The Jews. So when you go and look in the definition, you go to look up the word Gentile, it's going to say Helene, the Hellenized Jews. And Hellenized means to have aspect of the Greek culture being a Jew. So now that we know that Jews and Gentiles are both Israel, today we're going to drive that nail even further into the coffin. We're going to get Isaiah chapter 14, because everybody likes to read verse 1 and 2, which is a good thing, and then they want to have a dispute about it. And they'll say in verse 1, when it talks about strangers, that it's talking about the other nations. But it's not. And I'm going to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt, just by reading the chapter itself, that it's only talking about Israel. And the other nations, according to scripture, are going to receive a judgment. So let's get it. Go ahead and get Isaiah chapter 14 and start from the top.
Isaiah.
Give me 1 and 2.
Isaiah chapter 14. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So the strangers shall be joined with them, and they're going to cleave to the house of Jacob. Read verse 2.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
So wait a second. Somebody's not getting in. Somebody's not getting in, because all I heard was Jacob and Israel being chosen. I didn't hear any other nations in there. Oh, but it said strangers. The strangers are talking about Hellenized Israelites. So let's get a couple precepts. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. We'll go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. And
You want me to read it or you?
you stay in Isaiah and I'll get some precepts. That way you're not jumping around back and forth so much. So Jeremiah, chapter 30, and I'm going to go right to the point. It's in verse 10 and 11. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob. There's nothing to be scared of anymore. Because read verse 1 again.
Verse 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Stop right there. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. Therefore, fear not thou, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save them from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And we will take them captives, whose captives they were. Remember? And Jacob shall return, and there shall be rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So, still, it's only talking about Israel only. So go ahead and get me, let me get this too. Let's go to the book of Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 1, going down to the point. It's in verse 17, and it reads, Cry yet, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperities shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. So the Most High is only going to choose Israel, Jerusalem, Zion. Zion means city of David. City of David means Jerusalem. Israel, Judah, they're all the same. Ain't nobody else getting in. Everybody thinks they're getting in. You're lying to yourself. Now, you might be an Israelite, and you might look like one of the other nations. That's okay. You're still getting in if you're righteous. That's how it works. It's not about a color. It's not a complexion. It's about who are your ancestors. Who are the ancestors that dwell within you? That's the difference. Let's go over to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6 real quick. Because it says he's going to yet choose Israel, yet choose Zion, yet choose Jacob, yet choose Judah. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7. And it reads, For thou art a holy people unto the Lord Yahweh, and the Lord Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay? Did you guys get that? Because so far, I don't hear anything about any other nations, but we're getting to it. Go ahead and go back to Isaiah. You ready? Are you there? Pick up where you left off at. You're at just read verse 3 real quick.
And it shall, Isaiah 14 and 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast.
Thy high bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
Was made to serve.
Let's stop right there. So he said he's going to put an end to the hard bondage which we were made to serve. So let's go over to the book of Exodus real quick. Chapter 3. And we're going to start the point. Verse 7. And the Lord said, I have surely sent affliction of my people which are in Egypt. What is this place called spiritually, biblically? This place is called spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay? This is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So I've surely seen, so listen up. And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt. He sees what's going on, people. He sees what's happening to you. He sees it. This isn't going to last forever. There's going to be a point where this whole sky gets cracked open and Yahweh Shai really returns. He's really going to return and he's going to come and save his people. That's the real truth. So let me keep reading. Verse 7 again. And Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows. What's a taskmaster, people? That's the oppressor. That's the person that rules over you. Every business, every job, every corporation, the guy that's your boss, it was actually considered a taskmaster in the Bible, because he's the one that's going to tell you what to do. Task. He's going to task you, and he's a master over you. So, let's get another one. Deuteronomy, chapter 26. And the point's going to be, let's go to verse 6, and it reads, And the Egyptians evil entreated us, and afflicted us, and laid upon us hard bondage. This is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. America is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Why do they call it secret Babylon? Because of the culture. I tell you every week. Christmas, Easter, all of those are Babylonian worship. That's why people say, well, they were celebrating Easter before Jesus. They were celebrating Christmas before Jesus. And that's absolutely true. because they intermingled those pagan holidays in with the scriptures. That way, all the heathen could feel like they were worshiping. I don't even know why they would do something like that, other than to keep us from having the real truth. So let's read it again. And the Egyptians evil entreated us and afflicted us and laid upon us hard bondage. And when we cried out to Yahweh, our fathers, the Yahweh of our fathers, Yahweh heard our voice and looked on our affliction and our labor and our oppressor. So he looked at us. I want to show you guys something about how the Most High's eyes work. So let's go to the book of Sirach, which is also known as Ecclesiasticus, and it is in the Apocrypha. So if you have a Protestant Bible, your Bible won't have all of the books of the original Bible. But okay, so going back to it, Sirach, chapter 23, and verse 19, and it reads, because he saw, what did he see? He saw our affliction. He saw it. So let me get this for you. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 23 and 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahweh are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering their most secret parts. So he sees everything. He's definitely seen the affliction that they put upon us. Now going back over to Deuteronomy again. I'm just jumping around. We'll pull it together in a minute. We'll get back over there. But let's go over to Deuteronomy chapter 26. I'll read it again. Now, this should make sense to you. Because what did they do? They evil entreated us. But I wanted to show you in Sirach that the Most High is watching all this. He can see everything, all the way down to your innermost secret thoughts. So, let me read it again. And the Egyptians evil entreated us and afflicted us and laid upon us hard bondage. When we cried unto Yahweh of our fathers, Yahweh heard our voice and looked on our affliction and our labor and our oppression. He's looking at us right now. Verse 8, and the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. That has not happened yet. That is a future prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. Now, it's also a perpetual, because we have already been in physical Egypt, and he did great signs and terrible wonders and removed us. But there is a such thing as a second Exodus. And in that second Exodus, that's what we're waiting for right now. That's what this is talking about. That's why when I read it, I tell you, we haven't been brought out of this place yet. We're all still standing here. All of us. So let me read it again. And Yahweh brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand and with an outstretched arm and with great terribleness and with signs and wonders. So, and right now, we're having great signs and wonders. And I'll show you. Let's go to, and this is exactly what's happening today. Right now, last week, last month, last year, it's all been going down. So let's go to the very basic Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You know what? Let's start at verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. You got people walking up and down the street right now telling people, you're saved in the blood of Christ. That's a bold-faced lie. It doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. So, they're deceiving many. And you shall hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows, which takes you into Jeremiah 30 and 7. And this is Jacob's trouble. That's where we're at right now. So the prophecies are being fulfilled. Let me keep reading. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And what do we say? Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. That's the name. And that's what people hate hearing. Anybody can say God and Jesus, but that's not the real name. But once you say the real name, there's an effect, a spiritual effect that takes on you. That's why most people don't want to hear it. So, let me keep reading. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. That's now, right now. In fact, my neighbor running up and down the street, trying to call the cops on everybody, anytime anybody, a male Karen. And then, so we all started off as friends, and then all of a sudden, the Spirit takes over. The Spirit of truth takes over. And he shows his true colors. And we're out here on the streets showing our true colors. So, what did it say? And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Are you telling me this isn't happening right now? This is what's happening right now. In fact, 3 more Christian pastors got torn off of their pulpit for being pedophiles against little children. Because that's usually what the Christian pastor does, either womanizing your wife or trying to do something wrong to your children. And who can deny that? Who's going to say something about that? Nobody. They keep it like a big secret. Oh, the Christianity is great. All the laws done away with. The laws are so done away with in Christianity, you're allowed to be a pedophile and a womanizer. So think about that. What is it called? Adultery, when you mess with somebody else's wife. So, yeah. So let me read it again. Many false prophets shall rise up and shall deceive many. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But, this is the important part. He that endureth until the end, that same shall be saved. So this is all right now. It's happening right now. Who's got to endure until the end? The righteous. We've got to go through all these things and all these lies that these worldly people tell us how, oh, the law's done away with. You can eat pork, but Isaiah 66, 15, 16, and 17 clearly states you're going to burn in a real fire for eating swine's flesh. But who cares? That's done away with. We'll see. I hope you guys bring that same energy when Yahushua returns. I want to see that same energy. Let's keep reading. Let's go. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 14. Start at verse 4.
That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor seen? The golden city seen.
Keep going.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the ruler. He who smote the people in wrath, and continual stroke, that he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hinder it.
So, who does these things? This kind of sounds like Trump right now. Let's read it again. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, continuously putting oppression on. Executive order this, executive order that, executive order this. I need to put more police in black neighborhoods. I'm going to deport anybody that's browner than a paper bag that speaks Spanish. Are you guys not seeing the continual stroke? You don't see it? You know what? I haven't heard from Trump in 4 days. No Twitters, no texts, no appearances. I think the guy's dead. Personally, I think he kicked the bucket and they're trying to figure out what to do. 4 days. Nothing. I hope he is too. Then it's going to get worse because you got the vice president that's 10 times as evil as Trump and nobody even knows it. But that's all right. That is all right. In fact, let me prove that it's talking about the rulership of this day and age. Go ahead and go back to Isaiah chapter 14 and read 7 through 11.
7 through 11?
Yeah.
Isaiah 14 and 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the first trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars?
Yeah, cedars.
Cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feather is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even at the chief ones of the earth, and have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
That's beautiful. He said, even the trees are going to rejoice, which represents the other nations. Everybody's going to rejoice when the righteousness is taken over. Oh, hold on. Salakia. So, like I said, even the trees are going to rejoice. People are going to be very happy once wickedness is no longer in rulership. Okay? So, thy pomp has brought thee down to the grave. Well, the question is what does pomp mean? What does the word thy pomp has brought you down to the grave? What does the word pomp mean? That's the important thing right now. We got to look up words so we know we're reading the Bible correctly. So the word pomp refers to an ostentatious display of wealth, power, and grandeur, often criticized by splendor and ceremonial magnificence, and is typically viewed negatively as a manifestation of worldly pride and empty show. Worldly pride and empty show. That's what pomp means. It means an ostentatious display of wealth, power, and grandeur, often criticized by splendor and ceremonial magnificence, and is typically viewed negatively as a manifestation of worldly pride and empty show. So when Trump or any of these world leaders, why do they say by their pomp has brought them to the grave? Why has it brought them to the grave? Their worldly pride has brought them to the grave. That's what it's talking about. So let's keep going. Let's go back over into, let's get a few precepts. Let's go to Psalms chapter 7 and verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. So, and you know what the perfect example of that is? The perfect example of making a pit and falling into your own pit is when they tried to put the C vaccination on us. Remember that? The C vac? And they were going door to door. And all of the minority neighbors, you remember that? Door to door. Blacks, Mexicans, and Indians got to go first. They said it on the news. Now everybody's dropping dead. But only their people, because they were the only ones dumb enough to take that shit. We're still getting over the Tuskegee experiments where they gave us syphilis and then watched us die. Like we're going to take another one of your vaccinations? Fucking morons. Hell no. Hell no. That's why you dug a pit for us and fell in it, because all your people believed. We don't believe that shit. We don't believe nothing. We don't believe nothing the government says. They're liars from the beginning to the end. Let's keep going. Let's get another one. Psalms. Let's stay in Psalms. Chapter 9. Verse 15 again. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. So they're all the executive orders, all of the tariffs. Who are they hitting hardest? Us. So when as a country, our country has put tariffs on other countries. But that means we were digging a pit for them, right? Who got trapped in it? That's right. We're getting trapped in all this stuff. This book is alive. This book is real. They don't teach this book at church. They don't. They teach you to give them money. They teach you a feel-good message. But I was watching this morning how all of these pedophiles are running churches. Or they're womanizing the local wives. You see more women in the church than men. Why? Because men aren't stupid. Women are. Women are dumb. They're naive. They need a leader. That's why it tells you a woman should submit to her husband. Why? Because a righteous man is going to take care of his wife. He's not going to let her out there in the streets getting ravaged, if you know what that word means. Okay, so let's keep going though. Let's keep going. The heathen are sunk down in a pit that they made. In the net which they hid is their own foot taken. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. The wicked is snared in the works of his own hand. Woo! You create your own death. How's that? Let me get another one. No, that's it. That's it on that. Let's go back to Isaiah.
You want me to read 12?
Yeah, 12 to 14.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will set my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and the sides of north. I will ascend above the heights of clouds. I will be like the Most High. Wow, he said a lot right there. We definitely got to get some precepts on that. He said he's going to be like the Most High. He's going to be all these things. That sounds like Trump. I remember earlier in this year how Trump made like AI pictures of himself as the Pope, as Jesus, as the King of the world. He did these things. That is literally these scriptures right here that are being read, and now they're coming to life. He's fulfilling prophecy. So that 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4, and it reads, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worshipped, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. He's doing these things. I'll executive order anything I want. I'm God. I'm going to make terms longer so I can be president forever. I shall sit in this throne for my whole... He thinks he's going to be there forever. That's funny. Let's go to Obadiah real quick, though. Let's see what Obadiah says, because you'll never hear Obadiah. You know why you'll never hear Obadiah in the Bible? Because it's talking about directly the white people. You'll never hear the church bring out some Obadiah. So let's get it. Let's start from the top, too. It says, and it reads, we're going to read down a little bit, because remember, he wants to sit in the seat of God. He wants to exalt himself above all that is called God, right? So watch this. This is Obadiah. Starting from the top. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh concerning Edom, the Edomites, the Caucasians that run that bloodline of the wicked. There's a wicked people out here. They have a bloodline. But for the most part, who runs this motherfucker? Who runs this joint? What do they look like? Yeah, those are the Edomites. Yeah, you know who they are. Now watch, I'm going to read a little more and you're going to find out I'm telling the truth. So, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Everybody hates the Edomites. Let's just say that. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. That's high places already. All the foothills, right? That's where the rich people like to live. Penthouse, foothill. They're trying to be up there in the stars, but in the clouds, in the heavens. They think that they're God, so they want to be closer to God. So let me keep reading them. Behold, the pride of thy heart
hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring thee down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, what nation that oppressed us didn't have an eagle as their on their flag, as a representation of? Even Mexico has an eagle, right? How about America? What about the Romans? Did the Romans have an eagle? How about the Egyptians? The Assyrians? Everybody. So anyway, right now, that eagle that oppresses us, we all know that what that eagle is. We know that that eagle represents America. Let me read it again. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, thus saith the Lord. So I'm just showing you, these guys literally think of themselves as the gods of the earth. And the Most High is getting ready to take them all down. Now, I mean, you can go, another perfect example is, they made movies so corporate, they look like a corporation made the movie. They turned Las Vegas into a giant slot machine that you can't win at. They charge $1 million for everything there. Nobody wants to go. You can't even enjoy Disneyland. We have old Tucson out here. It costs like $50 a person to get in and walk around and pay to watch shows and pay to eat and pay for souvenirs. You gotta be fucking crazy. These are the ones though. These are the ones that exalt themselves, and these are the ones that are going to take it down. They've turned America, which already was a corporation since 1984, it's not a country. Well, let's go back into it. Start at verse 15.
Isaiah 14:15, that thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Wait, stop right there. You see that? They're gonna look at, have you ever seen what an Amalekite looks like? You know, like the Jewish people? They're about as tall as my son here. They're all hunched over and they couldn't defend themselves to save their lives. I tell you, they couldn't defend anything. But those are the people that are running this shit. They're the ones that are making us dead. They're the ones stealing our babies. They're the ones doing everything to us, and we walk around with a blind eye to them, because that's anti-Semitic. I tell you, it's anti-Semitic. Bullshit. We're the real Jews. We're the real ones. They did stolen identity that goes into 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48, where the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their own image. Yeah, it says that in the Bible too. They kicked that part out because these motherfuckers. Then you got this. That's it. Look right there. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? It's literally painted. That's what the Bible. I guess it goes back to the This is all real. This is really happening to us. And so the quicker you wake up, the quicker you can get back to where you want to be in life. And that's like, once you find out, it's all about righteousness. It's not about getting a new car and a new house. It's about getting back into the kingdom. Getting good with your house, marching outside. When they say grace period, they're saying you got a certain amount of time to get your shit together. Because at the end of the grace period, if you don't pay the bill, you're cut off. So, church don't teach the Bible.
They teach against the Bible.
The prophets teach the Bible. They hate the prophets. I already said that. And they shall kill the prophets. And they hate us for what? Out his name's sake. So when we say the real names, everybody else calling out Jesus and God. We're calling out on Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh means he exists. He is. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai means he is the deliverer. Because when you say Yahweh, when you show the characters, it's Yahweh, Ha means the. But when you put Waha together, it's Wah, Yahweh. So Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer. Because that silent Ha, Yahweh Ha, is silent. But when you put it all together, he is the deliverer. So who's going to deliver us? What's the gospel? What's the good news? The good news is our enemies are going to receive judgment. We haven't even got to that yet. Keep reading.
Wait, 18? All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But wait, did I?
Yep.
I think I skipped.
Wait. They should never live now. The world is made a wilderness. Read 17.
They that see. Isaiah 14 and 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners.
Keep going.
18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in his glory, everyone in his own house. 19. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet.
One more.
Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned.
Ezekiel 35 NLT. All right, I'm gonna get a precept to break that down. So we're gonna go into Ezekiel chapter 35. We're gonna start at verse 6. Actually, we're gonna start at verse 5. This is what it's saying. Your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless, and when I had already punished them for their sins. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Yahweh, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. You say that? Their turn is coming. You know that we're out there stuck on the bottom. We're all stuck on the bottom. You've got very few people running that top show. And those people have descendants, and they're all going down. They're all going down. The scriptures are speaking, and it says they're going down. And what does Yahweh say? I change not. So if he says something's going down, it's going to happen. Uh-oh. So let me keep reading. Surely as I live, the sovereign Lord, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. I will make Mount Seir utterly desolate. Mount Seir is where the Edomites, that's their land. He's saying, I'm going to make their land desolate. I'm going to take all the Edomites out. I'm going to make their land desolate, killing off all who try to escape and who return. That means everybody. And I will fill your mountains with the dead. Your hills, your valleys, your ravens will be filled with the people slaughtered by the sword. I will make you desolate forever. Your cities will never be rebuilt. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. So the Most High is getting ready to take this place out. And like I said in the beginning of the class, go back to verse 1 again. Read verse 1 again.
Isaiah 14 and 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Stop right there. So Yahweh's going to have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. And then it shows you right here. I'm going to destroy Mount Seir. The mountains are going to be dead. Your hills, your mountains are filled with dead. Your hills, your valleys, ravens are filled with the slaughter, with people slaughtered by the sword. You guys are going to get taken out. But it's not talking about Israel. It's talking about the other nations. Why do you think the church sits around endlessly, tirelessly, telling you that everybody can be saved? That's not true. That's a fucking lie. But I will tell you the one truth. You're going to think the Christians were right if you make it into the kingdom, because it's going to look like all nations were saved, like all of these leaves on the ground. Imagine these just be all different types of people that look like different nations, but they're going to have something in common. Ancestry. Their forefathers are all going to go back to one person, to Jacob. He had 12 sons. And those sons had sons and daughters. No sons had sons and daughters. So there's a lot of us now. It says that Israel will outnumber the sand of the sea, but only a remnant shall be saved. So out of all of these people, there's just going to be a small group, but they're still going to look like the other nations. That's the thing. It's not a complexion. This isn't complexion scripture. That's why the church has you guys all fucked up, because they're going to teach a white and black doctrine. Oh, color doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. Why in the fuck you paint them white then? Because this is what the Bible describes. There's the biblical descriptions right here. Oh, you this and that and that and this. You're a racist. I'm racist. I'm showing the truth. You want to see racist? This is racist. Beating the backs off of people just for not picking enough cotton. Putting them in slave ships for 400 years. Millions of people. 400 years, millions of people. Come on now. This is racist. Look at that. There's the depiction of Christianity. All of it right there. That says it all. If that's the description in the Bible, what is this? I thought it doesn't matter. But in the scriptures, it says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So, at the end of the day, like I said, it's not a complexion doctrine. But we do have to know who to worship. I'm not going to go and worship just anything because the Most High that's His Spirit. That's not truth. That's not truth. That's lie. Let's go back into it before I just start going crazy. Isaiah chapter 14. Pick up where you left off. Go to verse 21. This is one of my favorite verses in the whole Bible. Isaiah 14 and 21.
Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity, for their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Prepare slaughter for the iniquity of the children. Prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of their fathers. So let's go. Let's figure that out. What does it mean? We're getting punished for our fathers? Well, actually, you are the forefather. Let me prove it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 9. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I am Yahweh. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. You guys know what that means? It means that you're going to be sent back in the third or fourth generation to receive judgment for what you did in a past life. So there, now we just killed two birds with one stone. Reincarnation and prepare slaughter for the children for the iniquity of their fathers. You are your forefather. You're the one being sent back to pay for your crimes. That's all. It's that simple. Let me get another one. This is one of my favorite verses too. It goes right hand in hand with this. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 139. So you really got to read to get to these ones. Psalms, chapter 137, I'm sorry. And verse 7. We're going to start at 7. And it reads, Remember, O Yahweh, the children of the Edomites, in the day of Jerusalem, in the day of our judgment. And what does it say? It says, who said, raise it to the even to the foundation thereof. In other words, when it's talking about raise it, he's saying destroy it, or burn it down to the foundation. So that's what our enemies said when the other nations came after us. Jacob and Esau were twin brothers. His twin brother came and said, let me burn this place down. Let me do it. That's how much our oppressors hate us. So let me keep reading. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Let's see, they fed us to alligators. They beat us to death. They've thrown us off of buildings. I mean, they've done everything. There's so many things. We could go for an hour of lists of just different atrocities that have been done to us throughout the years as Israelites. So let me get what he said. Wait, let me read it again real quick, because I got to read this next verse. It said, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. What does the next verse say? Everybody hates this verse. Happy shall he be that taketh and dash thy little one's head against a stone. The Most High wants to take your kids of the other nations and of the Edomites that have oppressed us, and he wants to take them out completely so they don't exist anymore. What have they done? They've caused the world to be destroyed. Did they destroy us? He said he's going to be happy to do to them what they did to us. So this is what happens when you're a messenger. People start taking the messenger and saying, do you believe this and this and that? And you, I do believe this, but I'm only reading the message. You don't get mad at the mailman because he brings you a bill. You should get mad at the bill company or yourself for making such a great bill for yourself. That's what these other nations are doing right now. They got this, we're all sitting at a big dinner table. And pretty soon, they're going to have to pay the bill for all of the stuff that's on that table that they've eaten. So all the things that they've done throughout these generations, according to the scripture, they're going to have to pay. Now, I've heard a multitude of people say all nations are saved. We're reading Isaiah chapter 14, and what I see is nobody's saved. Nobody's saved.
Want me to read 22?
Read 22.
Isaiah 14 and 22. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh, and cut off from Babylon the name of remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh.
So, did you hear that? If you take away the nephew and the son, that means extinction. No more uncles or fathers. How's that? You're extinct. So let's get it again. I'll go to Malachi 1 and 4 and 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh, Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So the point is, he's going to take all of these heathens out, and they're not going to have root or branch, son or nephew. It'll be as they were never. Let me get that too. Let's go to Obadiah real quick. We'll go back to Obadiah real quick. Obadiah's where all the good stuff's at anyway. Where is it? Verse 16. You know what? Let's read 15 and 16 together. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, just like he'll be glad to dash your head against a stone, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. For as ye have drunk of my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down. Now here's the point. Here's the point. And they shall be as though they had never been. In other words, extinction. He's going to take out a certain race of people. This is the book of Obadiah, so I'm hoping that you get the idea of who he's talking about. Because it says, to Edom, the Edomites, the Caucasians, for the most part. Not all white people. So don't think like, because it's a complexion, it's not a complexion doctrine. It's like I have people in my family that are native nation, that are straight up Indians, that are white. I have people in my family that look Mexican. I have people that look black. There's Asians that got so much salt in their game, you know that they black somewhere in their family. They'll see walking all up on YouTube and everything, having a whole ass, all the stuff that, so you know that Israel has been scattered to the four corners of the earth. We outnumber the sand of the sea, and we're going to be mingled among the other nations, so we'll look like the other nations. But by default, the people that run this place are the true Edomites, and they do have a certain look about them. And that is why we always refer back to them like that. No disrespect to anybody else that may happen to look like the oppressor that is not the oppressor. So if you can understand that. So let's go back into it. Malachi 4:1 again. Oh wait, I went back to Obadiah, so I wanted to show you that they had been as they had, and they shall be as though they had not been. In other words, extinction. Going back to Isaiah, read 23. I love this verse too. 23.
Isaiah 14 and 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittering pools of water, and I will sweep it with the bosom of destruction, saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts.
The bosom. Wait, let me see. Did I say that right? The besom. The besom of destruction. Besom means broom. So he's going to sweep you with the broom of destruction, is what he's saying. Okay? Let's go to read the next one.
Isaiah 14 and 23. 24. Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, hath sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so it shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand.
And that's beautiful. So he's saying, what I said is going to happen. What I think, that's what's really going to happen. Everybody else has their vain imagination, but what the Most High said, that's how it's going down. In fact, let's get that, because I brought it out earlier. I roughly paraphrased it, but let's bring it out for real right now. This is Malachi chapter 3. And verse 6. Malachi 3 and 6. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Isn't that beautiful? He always wants to remind you who he's talking about. This book was never written about anybody but the Israelites, for the Israelites, and it's really not a religious book. That was something that was made up later on. This is more of an instructions for how we're supposed to live our life, our dress codes, our dietary plan, how we're supposed to pray, how we're supposed to worship, our high holy days. It's just telling us how we're supposed to live life according to our forefathers. So let's go back into it. Read 25 and 26, and we're getting ready to close out with that.
Isaiah 14 and 25, that I will break the
scepter. Assyrian. I will break the Assyrian in my land.
Isaiah 14 and 25, that I will break the Assyrian in the land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from of them, and his burden depart from of their shoulders. This is the purpose this is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations.
And you know what? It says, let me read it again. It says, I will break the Assyrian in my hand, and upon the mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. Assyrians, it's also talking about America. So when the Bible's talking about the other countries, it's spiritually talking about now. So the curses and some of the prophecies are perpetual. In other words, they're going to continue to happen until Yahushua returns. Some of the prophecies are only going to happen once. It just depends on the context. So let's go over to 26. This is the purpose that I purpose upon the whole earth. And what is his purpose to purpose upon the whole earth? We got to go to Isaiah chapter 66.
Yeah, read it out.
And give me 15 and 16.
66, 15, 16. Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
And
by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
So what he's going to plead with all flesh through fire, that sounds very interesting, because the wars and everything, the sword, the modern day sword is weapons. So he's going to use that modern day sword to plead with us, and he's going to have his own chariots of fire. This is going to go down pretty big. This isn't some little thing that we're getting ready for. The church won't teach you about this stuff. They want you to think that all this is already done. That's a lie. This hasn't even happened yet. So I got 2 more verses and we're going to close out. Jeremiah chapter 25 and 31. Jeremiah 35, chapter 25 and 31. A noise shall come even to the end of the earth. Huh? Go ahead. Get it. Read it. Call it out.
Jeremiah 25 and 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will get them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord.
He will give them that are wicked to the sword. What did 15 say? And by fire and his sword he will plead with all flesh. So I mean, all of this works together. This book is perfectly harmonious. Keep reading, yeah. Wait, where'd you stop at?
31.
Read 32.
Jeremiah 25 and 32. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth.
A great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. You guys even know what a whirlwind is? Giant tornado. Or, how about this? A hurricane. What is a hurricane? It's a giant tornado over the ocean. I mean, you have, what are they called? The small ones that will shoot up the animals. But the hurricanes, they're like the size of states. So he says, I'm going to hit you with a what? I'm going to hit you with a whirlwind that shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. Where do our hurricanes come? They come right to the coast. And what do? They usually, if you ever saw the path of the hurricanes, they actually take the path of the slave ships and they hit right in the spots where all the slave ships are dropping people off. And I always noticed that. But anyway, let's go back into it. Read 33.
33.
Why did you put it off? Here, I got it. And the slain of Yahweh shall be at the day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. And they shall not be lamented. In other words, nobody's going to mourn for them. Neither gathered nor buried, but they shall be dung upon the ground. And what I always tell you about how they're going to be dung upon the ground, I already told you earlier, the ravens' bellies are going to be filled full of these evil doers because they're going to be dead. So how are they going to be dung? Dung is shit. Okay? So as these birds eat you and fly around, you're going to become little piles of shit all over the ground. It's very interesting how this book works. It's kind of funny too. The Most High's got a sense of humor. He's telling you, I'm just going to shit you out everywhere and turn you into plants. He's going to refertilize the whole place with these wicked people. That's how they're going to do their part. Did we read 33 yet? What was that 33? So I want to close out with this. Revelation 22 and 12. Behold, I come quickly. My reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. So what you're doing in this day and age, what you've been doing all your life, unless if you're not living in righteousness and you don't repent, clearly the Most High is going to take you out. And it says you have to die a painful death. So with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, clearly Isaiah chapter 14 is only talking about saving Israel, and all other nations are going to be destroyed. And on top of all of that, the numero uno is going to be Edom. They are going to be extinct. Facing the east, want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach.
And double honor to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers that have been bringing out this 100% truth the last 30 plus years. Shalom.